All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. I am Generation X. Now, we're going to do a real quick, again, a review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Before we do that, once again, thank you to all my new subscribers. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep liking, keep leaving comments. I do respond back, even to the comments that aren't that great. I still like to respond because, hey, we all have a right to our opinions, and I don't take anything personally. Okay? Again, everything on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Again, alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Okay? I do my week to week commentary on certain reality TV shows that I like and that I watch. I don't do, a lot of them, but there's a few that I concentrate on. And Love and Hip Hop happens to be one of them. Um, also, my commentary is basically what I see on the screen from week to week. One week I may like a person, and next week I may not, just depend on what the episode displays. I understand every show is edited by the producers to give us a certain version of what they want us to see. So, again, I don't have a dog in this fight. Everything is alleged in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Let's go. Let's get it. Okay, I'm gonna do my review a little bit out of sequence because I want to get down to the whole man DZ and Yandy other thing. Because everything else in the episode, from what I can gather, is just building up to what they got going on. The Harrises and the Frosts. So they start out, in the beginning, they show them where everybody's at. Carly's at a restaurant. Uh, Jock is having his man appreciation day, where all the guys are, I guess, at some kind of spa, cigar lounge, sitting there chit chatting and talking. As usual, little Zane, the little pesty brother of the group, always got his mouth in something, trying to kind of, saying a little bit, trying to create a little bit of mess there, a little bit of drama. But, as usual, yeah, I think the guys are just kind of, it's Zane, that's what he gonna do. Scrappy did let Kurt know that he invited Mendeezy to the Puerto Rico trip. I don't think Kurt is too excited about that. He felt a little off with Scrappy doing that, and I completely understand. Scrappy, probably shouldn't have done it, or at least talk to Kurt and Rashida first, because let's keep it real. Scrappy and Kurt and Rashida and them have a long-standing relationship prior to the Harrises moving down here in Atlanta. So you should have gave them the opportunity to let them know, hey, I'm thinking about inviting him. What do you guys think? Is it cool with y'all? That's not to say he can't invite him, because it is his trip. But sometimes just have a little bit of consideration for other people. Now, after everybody, came to the conclusion that Mendeezy and the Harrises, Yandy may be at the trip, then they start making jokes, and I didn't find that funny. Zane cuts in as usual, everybody giving Mendeezy all the heat, but, why he getting all the backlash? Y'all ain't saying nothing to about Yandy. And then Scrappy says something about, I think it was Scrappy, I'm not for sure, but somebody said something about Yandy getting her back blown out over there in London. And according to Mendeezy, he didn't do what he did until he found out what Yandy did. So they're alluding that Yandy was the first one to go outside the marriage. And then after Mendeezy found out, then he went on and did his little thing outside the marriage. And they all just laughing, I don't know, just a bunch of men talking about a woman is kind of odd to me, but I'm not going to knock them, because women get together and talk about men too. But yeah, that was kind of it was just kind of an off color scene for me. But hey, I completely understand. So then they get to Sierra, Zay, um, in the studio. Sierra's rapping again. I know Sierra's been rapping since the show started, but if y'all remember last season when Spice did the collaboration with all the rappers, and she told Sierra she couldn't be on the album because she said, I wanted it to be people who actually rap, and Sierra didn't make the cut. So Sierra has been rapping on the show off and on, doing her little music thing, but I just thought it was just kind of a just a hobby. I didn't know she really was that serious that she said, she really wants to get into this and bring Atlanta back to where it used to be. There's no good Atlanta music out. I mean, there's a whole song called I'm So ATL. So I'm confused what she talking about all over TikTok and Instagram where people doing dances on it. CeeLo did the one song I forget, but it was a dance and it was a reference to ATL. So there's a lot of good ATL music coming out, just my opinion. Now, as they're talking, uh her husband, quote, Zay. And again, let me back up real quick. Zay and his husband, and I mean cousin, I think his name is Coolio or something. Sierra, I don't know where you meet these men at. And again, I completely understand that Atlanta has a shortage of good men. They either say they playing for a different team or they're married or they got multiple girlfriends and nobody wants part of it. So now the new thing is to chase after Nigerian men. I don't know if Sierra just goes to a certain particular neighborhood to find her boyfriends, but they all look like they have been dipping and dabbling in some probably strange activities. I'll just leave it at that. I ain't saying too much. They just all look like street thugs to me. I apologize if this offends anybody, but I'm like, girl, you're supposed to be this boss bee, multi-millionaire with all these businesses. And it seems like you go there. I don't know. Maybe she just like hood dudes. I don't know. That's what I get. I'm not saying hood dudes can't be rich dudes because it happens all the time. But I'm like, they seem like they're trying to use your association with certain people, certain lifestyle, money, on television. You got, you able to get into certain doors that they probably wouldn't be able to get in. And I know the one guy allegedly, she said he signed to Future's record label, but hey, I mean, maybe he's a local celebrity rapper in Atlanta. I just never heard of him here where I live at. I don't know. They just seem sketchy to me, but hey, she feels safe around them. She loves them. I just feel like at some point she's going to figure out that that whole thing was just a setup to move up or level up, as they say. But getting back to the conversation, Coolio, whatever his name is, alluded to that he had an alleged affair with Selma, who's 24's wife. And basically, he doesn't seem like he has a lot of respect for women because he seemed like the kiss and tell type guy. And she was like, but he's married. And he was like, there's a lot of women married, but they don't act like they married. So, I mean, do you got to tell everything? He's alluding to he slept with a lot of different women and he want Bambi and Carly Red next. Like, I don't know if he wants a threesome, a poly, whatever, but he wants both of them. I don't know if he's just using you to get close to your friends, but it seems like to me he's seen his brother level up. He may seen how you guys look a little thirsty for a man, and he may feel like maybe I can get me one of these TV girls too, these loving hip hop girls, and get myself on TV. Because it doesn't hurt to get on television and then promote your music. Love and hip hop is free promotion. So it doesn't hurt to do that. I mean, hell, let's look at Cardi B. She went on there one season, she never looked back. It helped her a lot. So I don't know, Sierra. I just didn't like the way he moved. I didn't like the way he was running his mouth about allegedly messing around with certain women. Then he showed all the text messages. And I'm not saying that they're not legitimate messages, they probably are. I just didn't like the fact that he felt the need to drop all of that. His first time I've ever seen him actually on camera and have a conversation. So it's kind of like, let me get my storyline in here so I can get some airtime and a check. Because you didn't have to say anything. This could have been something that could have rolled out the season and maybe brought you into the next season. But I guess you brought it out early, so that'll bring you into the next season. I don't know. I just feel like, Sarah, they're using you for a storyline, a little check, and a little bit of exposure. And it doesn't help that you got a lot of money and can help them out financially. Just my opinion. Let's go to the next scene. All right, I'm not going to talk about the Yandy and I think it's Judy. I'm sorry, Yandy, Judy, and Mendeezy just yet, because I'm just gonna put them all in one big pot a pot and talk about them together. But then they go on to Carly having her, I guess, opening night at her restaurant. Something Carly's Red Room Restaurant or something like that. Cool, something Red Room Restaurant. So everybody's there. Once again, Little Zane brings up the conversation. Cause I guess see somebody mentioned it, and Lil Zane is sitting there, and he ain't there 5 minutes. Sierra and her boyfriend ain't there 5 minutes, and then he's talking about the trip. Hey, so and so is going, so and so is going, and then sure as I don't know what he says. Oh, Selma going? She dirty. And Sarah's like, stop it right there. Carly walks away. Thank God Carly walked away because she got other stuff to do. And then I'm gonna say something about Carly in a minute. And then Lil Zane, all ears, perking up because he want the mess and the drama. And so he finds, he listened to what he said. Sarah's like, hey, cut it right then and there. I get that. I get that because I'm kind of like, y'all, I don't know why y'all keep feeding Little Zane information. You talking about Carly got a big mouth? Carly gonna run back and say something? I don't know why y'all keep feeding Little Zane. Because Little Zane and Ashley is about as messy as they come. And Little Zane and Ashley probably need to be focusing on their own relationship and their family dynamics there. But no, they're too busy in other people's stuff. Now, Ashley's not there, so I'm not blaming her. But guarantee you, when this Puerto Rico scene goes off, I'm sure Lil Zane and told Ashley, and they're gonna be right in the midst of everything. The first person to open the mouth is gonna be Lil Zane because he's already contemplating in his head, I can't be on a bus with my brother, knowing this and that. Lil Zane, do you know how to keep your mouth shut? I swear to God, don't ever have friends like that. If you don't know how, you don't have friends that know how to move in silence, that know how to be secret keepers and keep your secret regardless of the situation, them not your friends. And I know people say, "Oh, if I wanted you to, if you find out something about me, yeah, I want you to tell me." Bull crap. Because as soon as you tell that person, they probably gonna be mad at you. Stay with the person that they're with, and y'all friendship would be fragile. Stay out of people's business. And I'm not saying like, if it's something serious, then yes, you may need to say something. But this cheating stuff is love and hip hop. Everybody on this damn show cheating. I mean, let's at some point. I ain't saying right now. I'm just saying at some point. Most of the people on that show break up because of cheating. It's Atlanta. Let's just keep it a buck. No, no, this against Atlanta. But we know how it rolls down there, okay? So Zane can't wait to say something. Sierra is shutting people down. Zay is just running off at the mouth like I don't know, like he's Zane. Why you all up in this, Zay? This ain't your business either. Okay? So I appreciate the fact that nothing popped off at Cardi's restaurant launching and whatever was going on there. So the show continues to, focus on the Puerto Rico trip, who's coming, who's not coming. Rashida and Kirk sitting there having a conversation, deciding if they want to go or not. Yandy, I believe, hasn't made her mind up whether she's going. Kurt did say Rashida was going to go if Kendra was going to go. Little young Jock said, no, Kendra's not coming. She ain't on that. She just want to keep it, give me my time away. And then she'll have her time away. I guess they're having some little issue still with Jock going on Instagram and talking about they getting a divorce. So everybody's kind of fragile right now. And I get it. One thing I meant to say, Sierra went and told um, Carly what Zay's brother said, that he wanted to meet her, and she was like, why? Well, she's a you do, and Lil Zane said, did he know she a sex therapist? Why you throw that out there, Zane? Again, Zane says too much. So I think Cardi is kind of like interested, but not interested. I think she looks a little more focused on her business. But when Sierra told Coolio, whatever his name is, you want to be part of the tight face crew, I about fell out. Even she know they faces are tight, Tamara. You want to be part of the tight face crew? This is not to shame anyone, but I'm just gonna say this. And maybe it's just my personal opinion. Sierra and Carly, for some reason, I cannot stop focusing on their lips. It's just, it's too much. And then they put the really high lip gloss on there, and I'm like, oh my God, it's too much. And I know a lot of people got fillers. I just felt like as Black women, we don't need that much fillers. I know you may want nice full lips, but I think they overdid it. And then to put the lip gloss, it just looked like fish lips to me. And please, I mean this in the most kindest way. I know it sounds bad, but don't come at me. The lips just, I don't know. Everybody got their itch. And that's this thing for me, like with them. I'm like, God, I can't, that, you know, it's bad enough when they showed Cardi from the rear. That, was her rear end was just, I don't, aesthetically not correct. Just like Cardi B's, aesthetically not correct. You want to put a little whatever in there, pump it up. I get it. But I just make it more subtle and make it aesthetically fit your frame. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know who those doctors in Atlanta, but they're making millions of dollars, in my opinion, off of screwing these black ladies up. We are beautiful. I don't know why we keep doing this. And I know I harp on this a lot, but I just want you young ladies to understand there's nothing wrong with you. And my God, if you want to do it, go down there to them Kardashian doctors, because I don't know what they do, but they make them girls look magically delicious when they finish with them. Okay? Y'all need to maybe find out what they doctors' names are. So anyway, we go through all these different scenes where everybody talking about the trip to Puerto Rico, everybody alluding to Brother Selma and 24 had some stuff going on in their marriage. And the last thing, before we get to the Yandy Mendici thing, Jock, his brother Kwame, and Kurt. And that's what I like to see. See, on all these reality shows, they do have a lot of mess going on, but we also like to see the good. We also like to see what you do in the community day to day. We also like to see you succeed with your product launching or your music, whatever, because that's what it's all about. You're on there grinding and hustling, and we want to see the success at some point. Now, this mentoring thing, loved it. I love the fact that Jock allowed his brother and Kurt and himself to sit down there and talk to these young men about that street life and what can happen and the things that where you can go wrong, where you can get it right at, and having a support system. Perfect scene, nothing wrong with it. The only thing I see improvement could have been had Kurt and Mendici been in a good space. And I don't know if Scrappy was out on tour or whatever, but it would have been really good to just see all of the men, Mendeezy, Kurt, Scrappy, Young Jock, and his brother sitting there in front of these people, because these young men can see 4 or 5 black men who are going to walk out in that parking lot and get in some beautifully driven cars, who have legitimate jobs. It may not be, master's and bachelor's degrees, but came out of the same places and mindset they came out of and became successful, you know, even having to grow up in these certain neighborhoods, they became successful anyway. They didn't let the street life get to them. So I wanted, had it been a full circle moment for everybody, because that's sometimes what guys need. Just like, hey, I know where you've been, and I've been there, and look where I'm at yet now. Yeah, I did the street pharmaceutical. Yeah, I did this, that, and the third. Yes, I've been to jail, but it doesn't stop you, because I think sometimes these young kids just give up and feel like this is all they got left in life. They just feel like this is it, the street. There's nothing else for me. And that's why we losing so many of them at a young age. So it's good to see all these men get together in spite of their differences or in spite of where they came from, and show what true success is. All right. So that's my preachy moment. Now, let's get to this Yandy thing. And I'm going to make this real quick. I don't know where Yandy and Mendeezy are at today, because the last time I checked, Mendeezy was standing on Instagram, standing in front of a new house he's building. I don't know if he's building it to sell or if he's building it to be the Harris Mansion. I don't know. Him and Yandy moving in there, and Yandy's out dancing with Quad and enjoying herself and opening up her businesses. Now, Yandy and Mendeezy have businesses. I don't know if it's in both their names or not. I don't do all that research on people, but I know she had a restaurant or something. She got that storefront Yale products she sell online, and then she got a lot of other real estate investments, and then so does Mendeezy. So here's my thing, and I have to do a disclaimer before I get started. When I said last week, there was somebody in my comment who was telling me that Yandy was a producer. She did do this, with Sheeta, she get her a job. I totally agree with you. And what I want you to understand is my opinions and commentary are based week to week. And for that particular week, I felt that Rashida had the better hand, because We know all Rashida's dirt. She never hid it. When it came out on the show, she stood in it. Her and Kurt stood in it, and as nasty and ugly as it was. And whether we felt Rashida should have stayed with Kurt or left Kurt, at the end of the day, they exposed all their dirt. They didn't hide anything. Now, Rashida chose to stay with her husband. That is her business, has nothing to do with us. The issue I had with Yandy in these particular episodes is I'm not discounting Yandy was an executive producer. I'm not discounting her creative credit to the show. I'm not discounting any of that, and that she may have came down there with Mona Scott and helped launch that uh, franchise in Atlanta, and maybe interviewed the people and helped her with the casting. Not taking that from Yandy. Yandy's a great businesswoman. She's highly intelligent. I think she's absolutely gorgeous, and I always respected her as that. But when I'm doing my commentary, I'm just talking about them in the moment, the scenes that they're doing. Right now, my commentary is basically on who's telling the truth or who's lying, what's going on in the marriage. And this is just commentary in my opinion. And this is allegedly because I don't know what's really going on in a marriage deeply inside, because I don't know them people. I can only tell you what they put up on social media and what we see on the show. And that's all I do my commentary on. And basically, my commentary is just a guess based on life experiences. Okay. Now, with that being said, Yandy and in DC, I do feel, and I'm going to stick with that, by default, they became the primary couple in New York because that franchise, and even Yandy said, was surrendered around Jim Jones and Chrissy. And it didn't work out. And Chrissy and Jim Jones, for whatever reason, left. Did a spinoff, didn't work out. But Yandy and Mendeezy became the focus because Mendeezy was on his way to jail. He had two or three baby mamas, a couple of kids. Yandy was pregnant with one, I think having another, I forget. They was having a wedding going on. So yes, by default, we ended up saying, hey, we like Yandy and Mendeezy. Keep them there. I mean, she came onto the show as Jim's assistant, but then they end up being centered around Yandy. Yandy ended up being the young lady that all the other girls, Tahari and Tara and Mina Butterfly, they came to for their advice, except for that one girl, I forget her name, but she was dating not Cameron. Jude Santana, forget his name. But anyway, that was one thing. In Atlanta, that show was centered around Jocelyn and Phoebe. Yeah, remember Phoebe and Mimi Fox. And again, that show was pretty much built to center around their dynamics and their relationship. Coming in there with Stevie's messing with Joss on the side, but he got a baby by Mimi and all that, whatever going on. And for whatever reason, allegedly, Stevie and Jocelyn kind of went off course because they got a little personal problem issues going on where they had to take them off the show and go get help, rehab, therapy, whatever you want to call it. And then Kurt Frost and Rashida were the solid couple left. So it kind of ended up focusing more around them, and they became kind of the lead couple on the show that everybody came to for advice, even though they were going through their thing with Kurt cheating in the pool with Bambi. Let's keep it a buck. We've seen it. And then having a baby on the side. Rashida had a baby during that process. And then Kurt wanted to do a paternity test on her baby. So when I say that Rashida won that round, I'm talking about the openness of their relationship, allowing people to see in it. And Yandy is still kind of closed off, but she's on reality TV, and that's what I'm getting at. Like Rashida let her stuff play out on reality TV, which made good TV and good ratings. Yandy still kind of be private, but she on reality TV. And you got to remember, I, I'm not saying all your dirt got to be on reality TV, but people on reality TV like reality, and if they feel that you're not being upfront with your mess and being truthful, they will hold that against you. So again, love Yandy, have the utmost respect for her. So let's get it going. So Miss Judy and Yandy, y'all know Judy and Yandy ain't never really got along in the past, but I was pleasantly surprised when Judy sat down there with Yandy and had a real conversation and they didn't argue. Thank you, Jesus, they're in a better space. And what I got out of the whole sense is yes, Yandy and Mendeezy don't seem like they're on the same page. I don't even think they're living in the same house. If they are, they're definitely sleeping in separate rooms. Yandy feels love she wants to be loved and then respected. Medizi said he wants to be respected, then love. I believe, and this is just my opinion, that if I love a person, I'm going to automatically respect you. But I can respect you and not love you. Okay? Like I can respect the pastor, but I ain't in love with him. I can respect my next door neighbor, but I don't mean I'm in love with them. So Mendizi is saying basically he likes the respect and the loyalty. Respect and loyalty is more of a street code to me because that's what the thugs say, the gangsters say, say loyalty, loyalty, respect, loyalty. They never mention love. If you look at any person you know that lives a street life, loyalty and respect is the biggest thing for them. Even if you're working for somebody in certain rooms, they want loyalty and respect. They ain't say they in love with you. So Yandy is more on the marriage side, like, hey, I want you to show that you love me and that you respect me, meaning that you love me and you're not going to be out in these streets making me look stupid. And Mendizi is like, you know what? I want you to respect me first. I want respect. I don't give a damn about you loving me. And he said, this is, and this was going on back when he took his ring off. And I remember that. Remember last season when Deezy wouldn't wear a ring? That's when we knew there was some fracture there. When he wouldn't wear a ring, and then Jasmine showed up with her peeps, and they started questioning Yandy and Deezy, and then Yandy said, it was me sending the messages. Everybody felt suspicious there. So that lets you know that there was some fracture in that marriage. Now, where we at today is we know the fracture's there. Allegedly, Mendeezy been doing whatever he been doing in the streets. Allegedly, Yandy been over there in London, courting them, getting her back blown out. She said it was an emotional relationship. You both are wrong. Now, Yandy is saying, I'm trying to save face and I want to keep our family together. Mendeezy is like, I don't really give a crap. I need you to be loyal to me. I'm tired of fighting. So this is just my opinion because I'm not going to go over everything they said back and forth. Yandy was in tears. She talked to her friend Keisha. She was crying. She said, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting for this marriage. And I'm like, at some point, Yandy, you and Mendeezy got to make a decision. If you're fighting, if you're the only one fighting, what is the point? And I don't advocate divorce for anybody because I know y'all got children. But if you feel you're the only one fighting, why are you fighting still? At some point, y'all need to make a decision and let it go. And maybe y'all can come back together. If Mediza doesn't want to do counseling, if you done everything you need to do, then sometimes you have to throw in a towel. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes marriage is in, sometimes it can be reconciled and y'all can go and live a happy life. But y'all have to make a decision. And again, I don't know where they at this moment because I don't see them like doing a lot of pictures and photos together. I see them filming stuff separately. So again, I don't get that deep. I just do my commentary on the show as it airs. Now, the thing I have, the biggest issue is just my opinion based on Mendeezy's mannerisms. And I know Mendeezy is, to me, he's a very low emotional type person. He doesn't show a lot of emotions. I think Mendeezy loves Mandy per se. I just don't think he's in love with Mandy. I'm sorry, I'm calling her Mandy. I don't think he's in love with Yandy at this moment. But I think he loves Yandy because she is the mother of his child. And like Yandy said, we 19 years. They've been together almost 20 years going through this. She stuck with him through the time he was incarcerated, all his baby mama drama, all of that. Moved down to Atlanta together to start over new. I get that. Mendeezy is loves Yandy for everything she's done for him, but the in love part of Yandy, I think Mendeezy has given up on. And he has to find his way back to being in love with Yandy again. Yandy is in love with Mendeezy, but she, in her mind, knowing that she had this emotional affair and knowing the type of person that Mendeezy is, he's probably not going to ever look at her in the same light. Even if they stay together, that's going to be something that's always going to be in the back of his mind. And she know that Mendeezy will probably not love her the same way again. He can probably get past it, but it's always going to be something in the back of his mind. Now, I hope they make it out of this and I hope they stay together. Yandy seems like she's ready to throw in the towel. But the interesting thing to me is we'll find out if they married or not. If they do decide to separate, and again, I'm not advocating leaving nobody, but if they do decide to get divorced, quote unquote, if that's the case, we'll find out if they was ever legally married, because that's when the fight begins. Because baby, let me tell you, if y'all ain't looking over there at Portia and Simon, you know how Portia was all over Instagram, her and Simon traveling the world together, from Africa to Dubai to here, there, every freaking where. You see where they at now. So divorce changes a person, but we will find out if they are actually divorced. And I don't know if Georgia has the what do you call it, common law provision in Georgia. Don't know, but we would definitely find out. But what I do notice is, whether they married or not, whatever money Mendeezy had off to the side, he is building something with it. He's starting this um real estate endeavors. So Mendeezy is getting his whatever financial situation off the ground. He seemed like he getting ready, just in case something happens. I got me some assets here in Georgia, so I don't have to go back to New York and do what I used to do for a living. Yandy always gonna be that girl, because Yandy is a smart businesswoman. Don't let this man tear you down. I know that's your husband, so that's why I don't speak very low of him, or say, "Hey, I want y'all to divorce," because I don't advocate divorces. I love families to stay together, but we also understand sometimes it's just not possible to do it. And if you're falling out of love with each other, it's best to acknowledge that and go your separate ways, and to sit in a house under the same roof, arguing and fighting and screaming and growing more agitated to the point where you can't stand each other anymore. You can't stand the sight of the person. If they walk in your house like, oh, I can't stand them. You don't ever want to get to that point. So while y'all at least able to sit and talk, make a decision. Either y'all gonna save it or y'all gonna separate. But at some point you got to do something, because as they said, there are kids involved. And with that being said, that is my, I know I didn't go over every single thing they talked about, but I just want to sum it up. Those two are in a vulnerable state. I respect them. And like I said, I don't get on here and talk about people's marriages like that. But what I will say is, on this show here, if Lil Zane, I don't know if they got you on here to spy, to stir the pot, to keep the shit going. I don't know what your purpose is, but if any mess is going to get started on this show, it's going to be by Little Zane. Carly Red, the Tight Face Crew, y'all look, y'all beautiful women. Whatever you done to yourself, just stop right where you at. Don't do no more. Don't do no more. Seriously. And that's not being funny or trying to shame you or anything like that, But godly, I don't know who's not telling y'all not good enough. I don't know what the streets like there in Atlanta. I don't know how bad the competition is. I've been there, but it's just in and out situation. I don't live there every day. But how tight is the competition that y'all have to continue to do that to yourself? And it's not just y'all. I've seen a lot of young ladies doing this. So we got to stop that, young ladies. Just my opinion. And with that, you guys go out, be safe, be vigilant. If you can, travel in a group. Don't travel by yourself. If you don't need to get on the road to drive out of town, don't. Don't get in these sundown towns. Let this stuff cool off and die down, because for some reason there's a segment of our society who's going to be mad for a while, and they can continue to blame us as though we had something to do with this. Get off of social media talking about it. Let them vent. We just need to continue to live our Black happy lives and spread some Black joy. That's what I say. Spread some Black joy. Get off of social media. Don't make jokes about it anymore. These people are freaking losing their minds. Let them be the ones to do it, not us. Let them act crazy. Just go about your daily lives, but be vigilant. All right. And with that being said, this is Gen X Nation. You guys go and have a great rest of your day. And y'all be safe. Peace. And I'm out.